Why is your box art misleading, LEGO? Are you lying to us? LEGO Harry Potter is off to a great start in 2024, and here's just some of the sets that I've got already. But which one of these should I build first? Well, I have built a lot of Speed Champions cars recently, so I think I'm going to start off by building the brand new flying Ford Anglia and seeing if it's any different to the ones we've had already. But before I begin building, let's take a quick look at the box art, and on the back of the box, you know, it's just a car. That's kind of it really, isn't it? Same with on the front. There we go, the car is flying, just like in the name. Inside the box there are 2 numbered bags, and as you can see they're the paper bags now, no longer the plastic ones, although sometimes it's still a bit hit and miss. There's also 1 instruction booklet, and don't forget to scan the QR code with the LEGO Builder app and register it for 20 insider points for free. Pretty nice bonus if you ask me. And there's also 1 very tiny sticker sheet with the license plates and some other details for the car. So I'm halfway through the build. Bag 1 is finished. We've got Ron Weasley, Scabbers, his wand and a spare, of course, some other spare parts, and the car, which doesn't look like much, or maybe this is what happens if you leave it parked in a dodgy part of town. Here's the car all finished and completed, and now it does look more like a car, doesn't it? With that kind of blocky, classic LEGO design with some modern parts and building techniques. Here are the spare parts, and interestingly, I had a spare wheel, but no tyre for it. Never seen that done before. And we've got Harry and Ron, of course we do. And believe it or not, these are actually new minifigures exclusive to this set. And hold up, have we seen those before? We kind of have, but more on that later. Also included, of course, we've got Hedwig, Scabbers, the briefcase, and wands for them each with the spares as well. Now, LEGO have done a lot of these cars in recent years, with the last one being in 2020 from 4 Privet Drive, and before that we had one with the Whomping Willow set back in 2018, and they were very similar in design, and this isn't too far from it, because I feel like LEGO have kind of mastered it now. This is the best they're going to get. There's going to be some slight tweaks here and there, but this is pretty much what you see is what you get. Although, interestingly, this is actually a different colour. Previously, it was medium blue, but now this is bright light blue, and I didn't guess that. Just by looking at the box art, for example, I was expecting it to be the same pretty much as the old ones, and it's a kind of a similar deal with the minifigures, as they're slightly different from their previous appearances, which I'll show you in a moment. Although despite the new recolour, the door being printed, of course, is not white, is it? That should be a continuous white stripe, but it is still a very pale shade of grey or blue, and the print quality is just not good enough, LEGO. You know, even this set was £13, it's not the point. This is a premium product. Other companies, including knockoff brands, can do much better print quality than that. That should be white, and having this car in a new colour, that should have been the time for them to master this printing, because it's not too much to ask, is it? And look at the box. That's a clearly pretty opaque white stripe going through. Yeah, you can't really mistake that for being anything else, so why is your box art misleading, LEGO? Are you lying to us? Of course, you can still open up the trunk to put in your luggage if you want, or maybe chuck Hedwig in the back or Scabbers. But then also the roof, much easier to take off compared to some previous versions of the car. And there's space with 2 minifigures inside, and you can probably fit Scabbers or Hedwig in there as well. But the minifigures can actually go side by side this time. I mean, you do have to make some jiggery pokery with the hands and lift them up and then put them back down again so it fits in the gap. But of course the doors can also open to help it easier, and they kind of just loosely fit in. Move one hand out the way, or maybe it's up too far, but this one's got to go down a bit. So if I just, come on, I know you can fit in there. Okay, all right, there we go. Oh, no, wait, now your hand's too low, so I need to take you out again and lift it all the way up, maybe, without doing a better job. Okay, yep, you're in. Oh, great, now I can put the hand back down. Oh, there we go. Good, Ron's in. Now we've got to put Harry in. Okay, right, it's going to be a bit more difficult. Open up the door again. Okay, lift his arms way up in the air. Right, then that's, oh, wait, now Ron's hand's going to be in the way, so let's, come on. All right, okay, oh, he's in. Is he in? Yep, right now I can put his hand down, but I can barely fit my fat fingers in there. Oh, wait, other hand down, close the door. Ta-da! Now, they each have one hand up, but at least Ron could be putting his hands on the steering wheel, and Harry can be, I don't know, just resting, you know, being cool, having his arm up. Yeah, why not? Pop the roof back on, pretty much all one little build here. Like that, perfect. And sure, it does look a little bit flat and plain maybe, but it's nice that it's just one piece you take off. And there we go. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. That's pretty accurate. And take him out nice and easy, because they're only attached with the 1 stud each. And inside, there's not much going on. Very strange choice for steering wheel. I guess there isn't really much room in here, because This space is kind of wasted. You're not really doing anything with it, so you couldn't fit a classic Lego steering wheel in there, some dashboard with a sticker piece. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. I just feel like maybe if the steering wheel was going to be a flat 2x2 tile, it should have been having a sticker on there to kind of further emphasize, oh yeah, this is the steering wheel. But yeah, I feel like it looks a bit, I don't know, fat and chunky and just a bit plain. But another cool thing about this new build is that we've got some new parts. So there's 1x2 cheese slope in this kind of new angle. We've not had that before, and it just creates the curves much better and much nicer. So I've talked about the previous versions of the car. Well, let's bring one in. Ta-da! And here's one I made earlier. This is the one from the 4-pivot drive set from 2020. As you can see, Harry and Ron in there, but this time they could only fit back to back. There wasn't really enough room to fit side by side. Oh, and to take the minifigures out, you had to basically deconstruct the whole car because the roof didn't come apart in easy sections. You take off these 3 parts, and then all the windows are really loose because that's holding that together, and then, yeah. So, oh, yep, see, that could happen. But that doesn't happen with a new build because it's stronger. So there we go. At least it did have a classic steering wheel, but otherwise it's pretty basic in there. And it's kind of centered and, yeah, not great. But if I put the car back together, let's take a closer look between the two and see what's really different. So first things first, here's a closer look with the 2 cars together so you can see that there is definitely a colour difference. And I feel like, yeah, I almost prefer the new colour. But then now that I look at the old one, I'm like, oh, is that more accurate? I think to get as closer to the real thing, it's kind of in between these 2 shades, but Lego aren't going to invent a new colour just for one set. But I feel like I prefer the colour scheme of the new car over the old one. Which one do you prefer, the new or the old colour? Tell me in the comments. Also, the headlights are now clear. They used to be yellow. Same license plate, of course, basically the same whole front end build of it. Same style for the side mirrors. Around the back, same lights there as well, with some part changes and color swaps, of course. And just having that new cheese slope piece instead of relying on stickers and like the awkward old 1x1 cheese slope. Yeah, that looks a bit too blocky, but I feel like this does a better job at capturing the look. As I mentioned, the new minifigures are actually slightly different compared to the old minifigures. It's the same basic outfit, although we've got some modern printing for the torsos. Otherwise, it's the same head prints, the same hairs, the same alternate face prints, obviously different coloured legs, but that's nothing too crazy. But it's interesting that Lego decided to update the graphic design from this set from 2020. I mean, we're only 4 years later. That set was still in production last year. So I don't know why they change it. As you can see in the old one, the V-neck on Ron's jumper is much larger, and Harry has pockets on his shirt. In the new one, the V-neck on Ron's jumper is much smaller, and the pockets are removed from Harry's jacket. And there's also some differences with the crease lines in the 2, where Ron doesn't have any visible crease lines, but Harry's have changed. And the printing for Ron's jumper looks much more worn, which kind of is more accurate to the scene. Whereas here it looks a bit more crisp and clean with those black outlines there. So yeah, interesting, but I do think I prefer the new ones. What do you think? Was it worth Lego updating the graphic design? Did they really need to do it? Tell me in the comments. In terms of value, I do think this set is worth the full retail price of £13 because, let's face it, you get 2 minifigures, 2 animals, and a pretty decent car build. If this was a Lego City set, for example, 1 car, 1 minifigure would cost you about £9. But then is an extra minifigure and extra animal worth £4? Plus, if you throw in the Harry Potter licensing, yeah, I guess I wouldn't want to see it anymore. I think £15 would be too much because it is just a car, but I do like the new colour scheme. I think they've mastered the building technique. Sure, the roof looks a little bit flat, but it's so much better that it comes off a lot easier. And the updated minifigure torsos may be unnecessary, but I kind of like them. What do you guys think about this one? Let me know, and I'll see you all next time for another Lego review. I wonder how long it'll be before we get another redesign of the same car. I'll give it a year.